Hi, I wanted to make this video, and I'm sorry that my camp is so messed up. I have no idea what's wrong with it. Excuse the bandana on my head because I'm getting ready to go to bed. I gotta go back to work tomorrow. But I wanted to comment on Sagacious Girl's video. Um, you so crazy. And I was thinking about this before I decided to make this video. I gotta be real careful about what I say on here because you don't never know who's watching in the area in which my life has gone. Um, but getting to the video, girl, you are so right. You are so right. People don't want to, especially in the black community, don't want to get help. Um, I worked in a dual diagnosis program where a lot of the women and men were diagnosed as depressed. A lot of them were schizophrenics. And I believe that it's deep rooted. It comes back, it comes from way back there in the day when in our community we took care of our own. You know what I mean? We took care of our own. We didn't go get help. They beat the shit out of us. We were beat. They're gonna beat, or we were taken to the church and prayed on, and the whole nine. Um, so it's deeply rooted within our community that if you do, it's a taboo to go to a doctor if you're feeling mentally ill. So like you said, it goes through years and years with this, and nobody gets help. Nobody gets help. My story was my son passed away, committed suicide, and he was mentally ill. And I had sat down and talked to him several times about, what you're doing is, you think it's normal? And he didn't believe that it was normal, but he didn't believe that he needed medication. I set up appointments for him to go to doctors. It's okay. If you need to, this is what you need to do, it's okay. And one thing, in the black community, we need to realize that a lot of times mental illness can come from different areas. I've met people who fell and hit their heads, and they've never been the same. Um, a lot of our childhood issues. You talked about depression. A lot of our childhood issues put so much on us that we're depressed long before we even realize it, or we don't even know that we're depressed. But we've go through life being in this depressed stage and not even know that we're depressed. My son wouldn't get help, and in the end he committed suicide. Um, but like I said, I worked in the field, and I continue to work in that field with dual diagnosed mental health people, and of all nationalities. But I believe in our community, it's deeply rooted from our grandmothers and great grandmothers that ain't no such thing as mental health. Um, I believe, and I tell people, go back to when my son died. I think I was in a depression for 8 months where I couldn't get out the house, and I knew in my heart that something was wrong. And I thank God for the fact that I did work in that community, that I could recognize for myself when I needed help, and I ran out and I went to go see somebody. Um, because I had a lot of issues going on. It was my fault, and if I'd have did things different, it wouldn't have happened, and I had all this stuff going on, and for 8 months I couldn't go out the house. I would go out and go to work, and I would come home, and then I couldn't go out the house. Work was routine for me. It was something I did every day, all day, for 8 hours, so I didn't have to put any thought into what I did at work. So sometimes I would even be thinking, did I even go to work today? And I ran out and got some help, you know, and I tell anybody, get some help. You know, mothers, grandmothers need to stop telling their family members that, you know, because it's real. Mental health in our community is running rampant, and it's real. It is real. You know, if they take a look at, you know, if a family member take a look at what they're doing, is it normal? Is that normal what you're doing? You know, support them. You know, anybody, any of my kids also went through, because it was their siblings. I had three others, and I made appointments for them. Um, because sometimes it comes down to if you want to live or you're going to die. Because depression is real, and it's running rampant in our communities, and we need to support our community. We need to support that girlfriend that's going through it. The one thing that somebody told me is that you don't have to be, if you go on medication, you don't have to be on medication for the rest of your life. It's an imbalance. And if you get that imbalance straightened up, then you can come off the medication. I need to say that that's not the case for everybody. Removing yourself from the environment and going into the hospital just to get some, you know, just to be away from the environment that you're in. I meet a lot, where I work at now, I meet a lot of young black boys um, that are going through mental health. You know, and thank God that they have those people in their lives that directed them to the place where I work at, you know, so we can stop the cycle. Because, I mean, this is a cycle that's been going on for a lot of years. And when I was growing up, I didn't know anything about mental health. But half of the people, the behaviors that was going on in my family, you knew something was wrong with them. But nobody knew what it was. So I just want to thank you for that video. It was very interesting, which I think all your videos are. And so I wrote a comment, so now I'm doing a video response to your video. Thanks for listening.